something. This mother doesn't want to protect her daughter, so the internet's going to do it for her. Justice for little Ren.
The internet's not going to protect either. All of you top influencers that are sharing that little girl's story, hear this. The internet is not going to protect her either. There are millions upon millions of children being sold on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, you name it. This is just one. This is just one profile. Do you see the followers and the following? You guys want to keep sharing her story and spreading it around like wildfire and say, justice, justice, sign the petition. You do realize the petition is only for her and her TikTok page. You guys stopped at that little girl. You have to understand there are millions of children being sold. I'm just going to give you some examples of seller accounts that are on Instagram. They're very easy to find. You can find thousands of them within seconds of a quick little search. And then your suggestions pop up, and it's nothing but more that are like that. So this was an obvious account with full-blown child nudity being sold and abused, and they won't take it down. I just reported this the other day. Won't take it down. Oh, but then when you go to search for the name, make that make sense. This isn't new. Meta's been aware. Just some more for you. Very obvious. Look at the follower. Look at that. 2020. There are thousands of those petitions. I've posted them in some of my content. You can see it. Then when you go to Google and you type in Instagram, Meta, child pornography, Instagram, Meta, lawsuit, Instagram, Meta, you will find hundreds and hundreds of articles periodically throughout the past, 7 or 8 years regarding this exact thing. Meta says they have a zero tolerance policy. Meta says they try to protect the children. All the same things that Jacqueline says, all the same things that you guys are so upset about and demanding that Jacqueline does not care. The internet is not going to protect her. We have to protect all of them. There's millions. So again, I am begging all of you that are up in arms about Jacqueline and what she is doing to that little girl, when you roll on over to Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, there's actual hardcore content of children by the masses being sold. They're selling these children physically and participating in actual trafficking. And Instagram and Meta is aiding in that effort. They are allowing that effort. They've been aware of it for years. There are thousands and thousands of petitions with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of signatures. And nothing's been done with any of them. So please, if you're going to talk about Jacqueline and Ren and say how terrible this situation is, because it is, it's so much worse than all of you are even touching on. Share the information that not only are the parents of these little humans not going to protect them, but neither is Instagram, neither is Meta or Twitter or Telegram, you name it. None of them are. We, as the adults that are seeing this happening, have to make the conscious effort and say enough is enough with the social media. Seriously, because guess what? Now that you know, if you're watching this video and you know what Instagram and Meta is allowing, and you continue to use their platforms, you are just as guilty as Jacqueline. You are just as guilty, because we are demanding that she takes down her page and take immediate action off of just one comment. When she would have gotten one comment, we would have said, oh, one is what it would have taken. Meta and Instagram should be held to the same expectation. That aside, all of that aside, children have rights. They have fundamental basic human rights that are protected in the United States Constitution and adopted under the UN Declaration of Children's Rights. It's a thing. Look it up. The corporations, the mommy vloggers are all in violation of their human rights. Privacy, bodily integrity, right to prevention of harm, both mentally and physically. And when you look at the United States Constitution and you get into the children's rights and you start clicking on the links and you start reading everything, human trafficking and digital trafficking in this dangerous group of people, technology and social media and online forums have made it so much more profitable for them. We've made it easier for them. It's easier. They can access everything easier, communicate with each other easier. You are feeding the children to them easier, and they're making nonprofit along with Meta. Meta's own safety staff warned them and threw up the flags, said, hey, excuse me, something's wrong here. And I've shown it on almost every single one of my videos. There's no violation every single time. And they are obviously trafficking physically and digitally children that are kidnapped, children that are, who knows, some of the parents are participating. And it's happening right in front of everybody's faces, and y'all are focused on Jacqueline. Nothing is going to happen with Jacqueline. I provided actual evidence that she's being sold. That was over a month and a half ago, and I still haven't heard back from law enforcement. And the content that I found was from 2021. It was posted. She was originally turned in 2022, as far as I can find. And nothing was ever done. That video, that content, it's still all up right now. And then when you roll on over to Telegram, it is worse. And then when you go on Instagram, now I haven't found her in the manner that I have found the millions of other children. I found vile content of her, but I have found millions and millions of children being sold like cattle. Is your social media really worth it? Do you think that people would still use it if they knew? Because if you're still using it and you know, again, you're just as bad as Jacqueline. I'm using TikTok for spreading awareness, and I'm using Instagram for a creeper account. That's it. That's a lie, actually. I'm using a Facebook group to gather people and unite them and pass out information to take to their boroughs and to take to their state representatives, because in order to combat this and to enforce that the internet take action immediately, it's going to take a ton of people. But all we need is one in every city and every state to start it, and then collect volunteers, much like Braveheart. And I am demanding that they do not sit on this and discuss bills and discuss and debate, et cetera, et cetera. They just passed 2 bills, and they have nothing to do with the selling of children. They have nothing to do with pornography of children. They have nothing to do with protecting the children and their rights. It's all about data and the privacy that Meta takes. One more tidbit of information: India stood together as a country and banned TikTok, and it wasn't because of national security threat. It was because it was mentally unhealthy for their youth. Sweden, Brazil, they care more about their youth than we do. I'm going to do a survey this weekend, and I'm going to go talk to teenagers, and I'm going to go talk to the youth, and I'm going to ask them, what would it take to get you guys off social media? What would we need to do? Parents, what would it take for you to stop handing your child a phone? What would it take? What would it take for us to say that the children that are being sold are worth more than our social media? I was talking to a lady tonight, and I said to her, you know, we only live once, and we work and pay bills. And we work and we pay bills and we buy stuff. I've said it in one of my other videos. That's all we do. So why not fight a good fight for something that is going to change the world in a positive manner and get our values back? Get our morals and values back and stop accepting this. You'll notice when you tell some people about this in real life outside of here, they look at you and they're like, it's too big of an issue, just pray. Well, the ones that are praying, people like me, are why you're praying. We are what you're praying for. Because it is going to take a massive amount of people to come together and volunteer their time and their voice and speak up for the innocent infants that are being raped and sold on Instagram and Facebook. So if you're going to speak about Jacqueline, speak about them all, because you're just like her, doing what you're doing with millions of views on one video, spreading awareness about one child. It's time we step up and unite about all of this now. It ends now.